Howdy guys, just a quick one on the process of making the oven. So you know the oven's got to be large enough to accommodate the full pane, which is 20 inches by almost 9 feet. So we're using anything that's non-combustible, so the framing is metal studs, so it's a light gauge stud. They're 10-foot lengths, so the oven basically is going to be a 10-foot kiln, and we have Hardie backer board for our walls and our materials to back up our ceramic. We got a ceramic blanket on the inside. Look at this unit. This is a nice unit. Keeps the space really nice. We're gonna be using that too when it comes time to cool down our glass after when we anneal it. We're gonna keep it a little bit warmer in here, so it can cool down evenly. Anyways, these metal studs are pretty simple. They just snap in there. Oh, this is one wall. We already made the top and bottom right there. They're the same. And all we gotta do is come along and just like drywall almost, you know, same as drywalling. We're gonna put the Hardie board on there because the Hardie board is non-combustible. And then on top of the Hardie goes the ceramic blanket. And the ceramic blanket really is taking on the blunt of the heat. We're going to be putting some rock wool in between here because that's fire resistant too, rock wool, so we get some R value to it. So when the oven cools down, it don't cool down too slow. We want the oven to cool overnight and not real fast, so it's going to be a gradual cool because we have R value in the oven. And you know, these little tech screws ain't gonna see heat, but when we go to screw on the Hardie backer, we got stainless. So stainless goes about 1800, 1700 before anything funny starts happening. But our oven, if we go as far as retempering that glass, we'll only be up no more than 1200. So, anyways, this is the beginnings of our kiln. And then, you know, metal studs. And this side you get a screw too. It's kind of flimsy now, but once the board's on there, it's gonna be rigid. We're probably not gonna put board on the outside because we're not making an aesthetic oven. This oven's gonna be broken apart as soon as we're done. And we'll probably repurpose a lot of the materials that we had got for that oven, so nothing's going to waste. So the total cost of the oven with the blanket and stuff is probably going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 500 bucks. It's going to be a $500 oven. And then there's our heating. We're going to use that wheat torch. That's going to heat it. And then we got venting. We just got to vent it. Make a shelf, and we have the fire brick to hold the glass. Alright guys, that's it for now. Just sharing the beginnings of this kiln we're making. We're making a convertible kiln. The top's going to pop right off so we can load it, and then we're going to set the top back on, and that's going to be our enclosure for the kiln. Alright guys, that's it. We'll keep adding on to this so you can see how it goes. Hey, adding on to that original start of the framing, now we're doing some of our cement board, which is a Hardie backer, and this is 1/2 inch. So these sheets they come 3x5s. The studs come 10. Our glass is 8.5. we need room for porcelain blanket, a fire blanket. So basically we're just using the materials so we don't have much waste. So that's one sheet cut in half, so that determines the height of the box. And the length of the box is 10 feet. In the width, we have 2 inches of blanket going on the two outsides. We got 2 inches on the top, 1 inch on the bottom. So we have a shelf a little bit bigger than the glass, like 21, and that leaves 1 inch airspace on each side of the shelf. So we're using metal stud. It's not going to see the heat because the cement board's backing it up, plus 2 inches of the fire blanket. And then we got Rockwell. We're actually going to insulate the in between the studs. We're looking for a little bit more R value because we got to kind of let the oven cool down slowly after we reach our temperature for the glass to anneal. So we're going to give the box a little bit more R value with the Rockwell, and that's mineral wool, and that's that can't. Everything we're using, we're going to use so it doesn't non-combustible. So. Yeah, anyone's doing this, just don't put any galvanized metal inside the heat area, because that galvanizing is not good if it starts cooking. So keep the galvanizing out. We don't have anything near the galvanizing. Ain't even gonna get hot. So, anyways, we're using stainless screws in case they see a little bit of temperature. There's no coating on the screw, and. Well, that's it for now. We got fire brick. We're going to use the fire brick to hold the glass up. We're going to use the fire brick to hold the shelf up. And we'll play around with them bricks in the bottom and make a configuration to get the heat to try to transfer all the way through the box. And like we were saying, this box is, this is actually the top of the box and the sides of the box, because this box flips upside down. And it comes up and hangs on some chain falls. So when we load this bottom, this is the bottom. When we go to load it, we can get all the glass in there the way we want. And then what we do is just lower the box over the bottom. And that's how we're not gonna put any doors. We're not taking things in and out. We're just heating the oven, let the product inside do what it's got to do, and when it's done, we just jack the top off. That's it. There's a vent, there's venting, and there's a burner, and that's as simple as it's gonna get, because this is a temporary thing for 16 pieces of glass. So it's not gonna be nothing fancy, just something that's practical, and it's probably gonna cost under $500 after everything's said and done with all our materials, all our ceramic wool blanket, and our Rockwell, and our studs, and a Hardie backer, and a pyrometer we need, and the venting. So it'd be under 500. Some of this stuff we'll actually repurpose. We can repurpose some of this Hardie board. And the studs, I don't know. The blanket maybe we could use when we're doing some welding projects and we don't want the welding splatter to burn stuff. We can use the blanket maybe. Well, no, the blanket, probably not. That blanket won't work because it will burn right through it. Who knows? Maybe we'll use that blanket somewhere. But that was $100 a roll. 25 feet by 2 feet by 1 inch was $100. So we're going to be about $500 for this kiln. Anyways, I just wanted to show you how it was going, and I'll splice the other framing video on, and you can just see the start of it. Then we got some fire. We got the fire caulking, because we got to seal like the seams and stuff in there, and the corners we got to seal. And that's pretty much it, guys. We'll make another video as we put in the blanket. Maybe you can see all that, and then that's pretty much it. We can just get it fired up. We just gotta wait for these things. We ordered them, so it may take a little time, but when they get here, we're gonna put it together right away. In the meantime, we may put a few of these paints together, the ones that don't need to be cut, so we'll share some of that. Alright guys, take it easy. See you on that next one. Hey guys. Quick one on how we made out with this kiln oven. So we're pretty much done. We're waiting on our ceramic blanket, and we got a sight glass that we're gonna put on here, and a pyrometer so we can check temperature in the oven. So like we said before, it's a 10-foot oven, and we insulated it with rock wool on the outside, and we had skinned it on the inside with the Hardie backer, the 1/2 inch. And then we hooked up some chain falls to it because it is pretty heavy. It's a couple 100 pounds because we made the 4 sides and the top as one piece, and we separated. I don't know if I have a flashlight here. We separated the bottom. There's Angie. She just came from her walk. So we separated the bottom piece, and that's the components of the oven. It's 2 pieces basically. So that's where the burner goes there. When that's imagine the oven right down on top of that, because we're going to load the oven up. Let me just explain. We gotta come in here, and we gotta put our ceramic blanket all in there, the ceramic fiber blanket, and that takes the blunt of the heat. So the oven at maximum temperature for what we're going to use it for is going to be about 1100, 1200. It's not going to get any hotter than that. If we do decide we're going to retemper that glass after we cut it. But if we're just going to try to anneal it, we're only going to reach about 900 in here. So it will get lined with the ceramic blanket. And then there's a shelf that gets built up here, the width of the glass, and it comes up higher than the burner because the burner goes underneath. We're trying to get the heat to distribute evenly along the inside of this whole oven so there's no hot or cold spots. We don't want the glass to go into a thermal shock, and that will crack it. So the burner goes there. That's the burner port. And then we have the vent port up here. So basically this vent, 6-inch vent, comes apart when we want to load the oven, and then we attach it when we are burning. And we stuck a damper in there so we can adjust the air to flame mix. And that's pretty much it. It's just a couple of chain falls that we already had, and that's pretty much it. This is the only wood on the oven, and that's not going to see any heat because we got the fiber blanket everywhere. We're even going to put some fiber blanket on the top here because how we came out here. It's supposed to be 18 inches from combustibles, but we're going to fiber blanket over this. We could have went with a B vent, but then we had this already, so, you know, we tried not to make a big investment on this oven because we're going to break it apart once we're done. We're going to just take it all apart. Anyways, hopefully this all this works. The time we invested, hopefully we can get this glass annealed and cut it, and that would be awesome. And then, who knows, if we get pretty good with it, who knows, we may try to retemper it after, maybe. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to share how that oven came out and what it looked like and how it's going to work. So that's pretty much it, besides the temperature probe and the sight glass we got to put on there. All right, guys, we'll share as we get some things done, and you can check out how it's going and how it's going to work. Don't eat that. That's no good. And that's it for now, I guess. So Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll make another video as we make more progress. All right, guys, take it easy. Till the next one.